Marjorie Taylor Greene is a fucking bitch that wants to get punched in the face.
Oh, dude, no shit. I thought
What happened?
Right. Well, she went over there and knocked on Cassie's door.
No, knock is dude. This bitch was opening the mail slot and fucking taunting her like it wasn't just her. There was like 3 dudes. They called her. They were like, "You're acting like a baby in diapers," and they're fucking poking the mail slot and going, "Come out, bitch! Come out and play!"
Dude, it was like it was basically like when the Scientologists start like going over to the people who quit house. They start like
it's
on them.
like that, dude. Yeah, dude. And
posted. So go ahead, Bill.
No. Well, Alexandra Cortez has already said that like this bitch is like stalking me. She's got her people are harassing me, and I know a couple of, not a couple, I should say, several right wingers. They got this like vile like they don't trust this bitch. Like, oh, there's something up with her. She's part of the Justice Democrats. You know, they're controlled by what's that dude from the Turkish Young Turks? Like he controls all of them.
Yeah. I don't know his name.
She's an actor. She's an actor. It's all fake.
She's a fucking actor.
So like, I think because they're introduced to her by those means, like she's fake. She's acting. You know, they like everything she does to them, like, ooh, they believe it. And one of the big QAnon things, which Marjorie Taylor Greene helped facilitate, is enjoy the show. It's all for TV. It's all going to be good drama. So I don't know why they're so. Go ahead.
I was just doing the whole, like the Damien. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you.
All the networks.
Sank. That's the name. Sank Uyghur or whatever. Young Turks guy.
Yeah, that guy. So he's tied in with these Justice Democrats, which are simply just progressive Democrats. If there's more to it, you can probably find it in the paperwork. And if there was some kind of corruption or malice there, I'm 100% sure Republicans would have uncovered it already and wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. You know what I mean? So there's nothing there. She's a girl from, I guess, Brooklyn, New York. The whole thing, she dropped, or she finished her school, but she moved back home to help her parents. She started bartending. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're super smart. You should run for Congress." And then guess what? Because she was talking to everyone in her town, right? It's kind of an American tradition to talk politics and violence, especially in New York. So this bitch is actually, not just representing them, she's actually connecting with them, talking with them. And guess what? The actual people over district actually liked her, you know, because they talked to her in person. They opened up to her. She served them drinks, the whole bartender dynamic. And then she runs and she wins. That's like literally probably one of the most American like experiences in the history of America.
That's why they don't like her.
Has the Senate,
you could hark her back to grandfathers.
Has the Senate and the Congress, and for that matter, most of the fucking governmental spots or whatever, lost civility?
Yeah.
I mean, they would at least like talk to you in a proper manner. You know what I mean? Even if they disliked you or hated your ideas, they'd still be civil about it. They wouldn't go banging on your door like that. I mean, unless you were a racist asshole or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Unless you needed to be that. But I guess maybe that's what she thinks, that she's so on the extreme that she needed to go over there and you know. I wish they would have opened that up for her, dude. She would have fucking destroyed her. Any point she would have brought up. But I think she went going in there knowing that she wouldn't.
Well, you got to remember, this is like must-see TV for the Marjorie Taylor Greene people. That's all she's doing. It's just must-see TV. She's just trying to rebel out the... I mean, she probably wasn't even there. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. She might not have been there, and it's just all for show. Well, because she does raise a lot of money. They're saying she's got $3 million so far. That's right now fundraised, and like the pundits saying that on TV are like, "Yo, this gives her," just like you guys are saying, this gives her ratings. Absolutely, this is what her base likes.
It's a whole play on like infotainment kind of shit. Like kind of what,
I like that. Are you talking about InfoWars?
No. Oh, dude, does it work that like he listens to it while he's working, and he's even got like a fucking like a hoodie that says InfoWars.
Who did?
This guy at work, he's a laborer for one of the other inspectors, and we had to go and help out, finish out this one map that the guy was on. And,
yeah, he's trying to get you quote, dog. Infowars.com. Go see for yourself. Do your own research. How do you feel after using their pills for a year?
Those are bamboo fiber hoodies, buddy. Don't forget.
You're dead. Bamboo fiber hoodies? No, dog. They've been checked, dude. They don't have bamboo. They put them under UV lights at a certain angle. You can see that Chinese fucking bamboo in there.
This has become like a clusterfuck, that whole Arizona thing, hasn't it?
Well, it's a shit show that they wanted to create. That's their shit show. They have they have what is it? Cyber Ninjas, who the main guy was one of the guys.
Yeah, he's totally biased.
Yeah, he's biased. So you got the people that the weird people that run the Republican Party, the normal people that actually voted and know their votes were counted, and then you have the people that are in charge. That's what's going on with each and every one of these states that are red states.
Kind of what I'm playing into the whole civility thing, like even for the whole that senator from not Montana, was it?
Wyoming?
Was she from Montana?
You talking about Liz Cheney?
Yeah. That's wrong. I mean, what they did to her is just retarded. I mean, even a couple of the senators came out on their party and said, like, this is wrong. This is, what the hell are you doing this for? You know?
It's like a coup, Chuck. It's like a coup. What they're doing is they're taking all the people that voted.
No, it's not a coup. It's a coup. Crazy.
But they mean they're sacrificing their lives because Liz Cheney, I mean, her dad's a dick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's Liz Cheney.
Yeah.
No, is she related to his father?
Yeah, Darth Vader's her dad.
Yeah. And her sister's a lesbian. Tell that to your mama.
That's why I thought it wasn't her. Because I thought I had seen her before in one of the ones where Cheney's kind of like saying, "Hey, I like my daughter's okay."
The majority of the people do. The majority of people of Wyoming back up Liz Cheney because she's represented Wyoming well. All 35 people. I used to live there. Sorry,
when I was in Wyoming, it was bad news, man. When I worked there, like I had to move hotels one time because I didn't feel comfortable there and shit.
Well, they are into like hairy dudes.
Dude, you know what, guys? I just had an idea. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's trying to set up someone to make it seem like they're assaulting her, right? So like one of these communist conspirators is attacking her.
Cheney?
Huh? No,
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah. MTG, Magic the Gathering,
Maddox the Gathering.
That's the real story. That's the real story, dog. Y'all don't know about this underground nerd evil network of fucking racist Magic players.
They won't even play. Well,
there is some occult recruitment, so they might go and recruit from there because these white nationalists, a lot of it's like kind of gone into like the spooky occult, with like Luciferian thoughts, like true freedom and whatnot. But anyways, Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to trying to provoke someone to punch her in the face. We gotta go flip it on her. You know what I mean? Because I bet if you instigate her and push her buttons, she's just like not too far from just punching you in the face.
Marjorie Taylor Greene wouldn't punch anybody in the face, dude. But what she wants, it's like those people. It's like those.
She fucking dude at her gym, and she's married.
Yeah, she's polyamorous or whatever. She has.
Punch dudes, I'm telling you, those arms punch dudes in the face all the time, and the balls too.
Oh, she'll punch somebody, but she won't get punched. What they're looking for is just like the people that don't wear masks.
Will provoke her to hit us.
I think a lot of this.
Yeah, I think someone needs to step it up, go out there, call her this, call her that. I would go with like calling her unpatriotic or not I don't know. Get her on some bullshit up that, and then she'll pop you in the face.
No, you know what you tell her? You know how you get her pissed off?
How?
You tell her you're the AOC of the Trump movement.
She kind of is, yeah. She's the MTG to her AOC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were Alexandria
That sounds like
Ocasio-Cortez. I'm sorry.
that sounds like rap from the like late '80s. What George was spitting right
MTG to the AOC.
A lot of Republicans don't like
You down
AOC
with
because
AOC? Nah, she's a bitch. You down with AOC?
we're all
Yeah,
down
not
with it.
MTG.
Yeah,
Not
it's
MTG.
like that guy that was rapping with what's his name? That guy from Florida. Nah, fuck it. They feel like they're being marginalized in some sense, you know, like they're being isolated. I don't know. It's weird the way they feel like. Well, yeah, they're losing their power and they want the goddamn know it, you know.
So check this out. It could just be a money grab because they are on the persecuted side, right? They got the martyr complex, I suppose, right? With the, an actual psychological diagnostic of them, but they got this type of martyr complex, and they're out there trying to get people to punch them, trying to get people to fight with them. You got people at the audit in Arizona with guns, ready for Antifa and BLM. Like,
but you're never going to satisfy these people
because they want you either make them punch you in the face or you punch them in the face first. Like they think there's no solution but war because you can't solve other people being not white.
But I think there's
only one solution to that, and that's the final solution.
No, but you know what? The only thing I have to disagree with is the majority of those people, a lot of them, don't know how to fight. They don't know, or you know what I mean? They're just like, they just know how to yell at stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you actually, if you get
they got guns, they got fucking.
Look, they can have guns, but a lot of them, especially like all the little new recruits that they're getting, those incels, those guys don't know how to shoot. You know what I mean? They may shoot at targets, but if you put somebody in front of them that's like, okay, you're gonna shoot me, they're gonna be like, and they'll wet their pants.
Well, if I'm in front of them, like,
if you get confronted, if you get confronted,
do you want to hear a true story? Do you guys want to hear a true story that happened to me this weekend? I was in San Diego, and so I hit up my homie, and I was like, yo, I'm at the Westfield Mall. He's like, oh, I live right down the street from that. So I popped over, and he showed me his church, and then first we went to eat. We walked across the street, and we went to some deli / like bakery. So I got a panini and a Coke, and like we had our Cokes, and we were chilling outside. And this place, it's like a kind of like the place across the street from the mall, where it's like an open area kind of situation, but there's like shops all around, like kind of like a huge fucking strip mall or whatever. And but it was bigger.
Were you at Gross Mart?
I was like, huh?
Were you at Gross Mart?
No, Claremont.
No.
Right south of La Jolla, like right next to La Jolla, basically. Like, and I wanted to see the directory, right? I was like, dude, let's go look at the directory, because this guy, he's a journalist. He knows, like, he's got a lot of knowledge of like retail and just stuff. And like, we walked over there, and we're fucking looking, and we're actually like, I'm actually like looking, like, oh, okay, that's there. Hey, the 99-cent store is not in here. And he's like, oh no, it's not. But when we were walking there was this guy that was dressed like a gutter punk. He was like a gutter punk basically, but maybe like a little more less homeless,
Less homeless.
So like he wasn't like a crust punk, and he wasn't that guttery either. So his clothes looked washed, I guess I should say.
He was playing the part.
Used but washed. I think so. So we walk up, right? We do that, and like we walk into the deli. He keeps walking, right? And then he goes past us. There was like a t-shirt shop, and then there's a Sally's, a beauty supply store for women or whoever, right? And so we're standing there, and the directory is kind of in the sidewalk next to the street, and he was across the street on a palm tree. And like, I could see him off a visual, and when we would look, I would see him, right? And I started to like notice, I kept, noticing more stuff about him. And I started getting a bad feeling, just not necessarily in my gut or nothing, but just like, this dude's off. Like, this is off. And I told her, like, dude, this guy's not even comfortable. And like, then he starts walking, he crosses the street. He walks past me, like, he could have reached out and like slapped me, I guess. And he stops and he puts his hand, or he already had his hand in his hoodie pocket. But like, I felt like that was a gun gesture. And I was like, just looking at, like, dead ass looking at him, just like, oh shit. And then he keeps walking and he turns his back to me, kind of, right? He's looking forward. I'm probably his pervisual, and Edward, or my homie's definitely on his pervisual. And I see zip ties sticking out of his backpack. And I was like, oh shit. And I went, let's move. Something's off. I knew what was off. I didn't like want to like say too much. I was just like, let's just go. And then we walk over to where they have like an outside tent area for the panini place. And as soon as we get there, and I was trying to like keep my eye on him, but at some point I had to like kind of turn around and like, get by the tent. He was gone. And I was like, did that guy go in the Sally's? And he was like, my friend was like, I think so. Because he was gone, right? And there was nowhere else he could go. And I was like, dude, something's off. And there's like a couple people in like the vicinity, and they're like, huh? And like I started walking forward, and suddenly he comes out carrying the tray of money. And he just starts he's like whining, but like speed walking, trying to keep that tray balance. He gets like in a little torcel, and he turns on the car, and I'm just like, oh fuck, this guy has zip ties, he had a gun. Like, oh shit, he's like, people okay? I didn't hear a shot or nothing, but I ran over there. And as I'm coming to the door, there's a girl, and she like looks at me. She just locks the door, and I was like, "You guys okay?" We just fucking turned around, like ran. So like I looked at the guy, and he's like, his car's already starting, and I'm like, "Get the plates." But there was like this van in the way from where I was at, and then I don't know, it like seemed like it was blocking, and they took off with him. And in my opinion, it's the same like velocity. Like they were together, it seemed like it was kind of a coincidence. I don't think it was a coincidence unless that person like froze up, but there was really nothing going on for them to just like stop there and then take off, like they didn't park. They just fucking took off. We ate our paninis, and then the cop showed up. I drank my Coke, and then the cop showed up, and like homeboy showed off his press pass. It's issued by the police chief, so it's got chief's signature on it. And like we gave the report, and I was like, because everyone was like describing the guy, right? And then homeboy described him, and then I was like, I kind of wanted to give like a more like not so like, hey, what's this color, this, that color, that, because people had already done that, and like some people said he kind of looked homeless, and I was like, not like homeless, more like Antifa.
What does that mean?
Like kind of like combat ready, but like grungy. So like kind of like punk rock, gutter punk, but like you got that. He looked more ready to rock. I mean, like the way his gloves were, the kind of gloves he had. Just the way he was scoping, the fucking zip ties were like the big giveaway.
He was ready to rock. He went in there and took the fucking money.
Yeah, and like I think it seemed like he might have zip tied the girl, because like she was crying, she was like holding her hands together, like I don't know if that's just how she was. Like the cop, the cop's back was to me because they were inside, and like he was talking to the girl. I don't know if he untied it or was like helping her maybe like see if she was scratched. I don't know, but that could all just be me just reading into it because of the fucking zip tie thing. But
it's pretty fucked up if you didn't untie her. I'm just saying.
Me? I didn't get to go in the shop. They locked me out.
Oh, not you. The cop. The cop. If you didn't.
Cop just leaves her there.
Yeah, he's all later.
Well, I mean, you don't know what's going on.
Or he's got a pocket, probably a knife in his shit. Just cut it. Who knows? It might have been too tight.
I probably.
Because like because the way he had the fucking. So, I think this is what did it for me or something. It was just like all like instinct. Like I said, it wasn't like a gut feeling or nothing. It was just like putting pieces together like real fast, I guess, not too fast, but like when he walked past me, his backpack had the zip ties sticking out, but if he reached back, he grabbed him like an arrow. You know what I mean? So they were like ready to be grabbed, you know? And it was just weird because like he didn't seem distempt. He didn't seem like dirty or like mentally ill or something, like, you know, or homeless. Like he seemed like, I was just like, because for a second there when he was walking towards us, I was ready for action shot because he's still going to rob me. And so I was, and then like he said, he did the gun thing, and he just like, why didn't he sat down on the bench? Which is like, I think he was trying to defuse the situation. You know, he probably rendered that I wasn't, you know, really aware of what he was doing. I don't know. But he went in there. Actually, it was like 15 to 20 seconds. He was back out.
Well, it's efficient, I guess.
I would have been like, I want to eat my fucking panini.
No, I didn't have my panini yet.
Oh.
I didn't have
you hadn't ordered yet? You went after?
No, we already ordered. We're outside waiting for our order to come out.
Oh, was this a disguise on his part? Because you say he looked.
That's what that's what I think. I think because it wasn't so guttery in the sense that it looked dirty. It didn't look. Nothing was dirty. It was all clean, but it was like super punk rock, and like the way it was like patched and put together. The type of jacket, the type of hoodie, the type of fucking. He had a bunch of layers.
Okay, well, this
type of pants were like tight at the bottom. He had the punk rock style boots, the Doc Martens. He had them laced. He had
like a Hot Topic punk.
No.
They say those kind of boots just reminds me of fucking right wingers and fucking Nazis and shit like that.
I mean, Hot Topic sells that outfit, mind you, but most Hot Topic people don't. That's cool. I'm talking like, you know, like nice, like old school, like fucking the fashion of punk, you know, like in its purest form. Gutter Punk's, I had to look it up, and Gutter Punk was real close. Gutter Punk was like, that's kind of exactly what he looked like, you know. And Gutter Punk looks like Antifa basically, but you know, Antifa's just not dirty, you know, because they're not fucking homeless people, and they have, in my opinion, kind of more uniform to each other kind of look. You know, there's like less flair essentially. You know, they're out there to black block. I know. But.
Yeah, fucking Antifa's out there to steal votes, bro. Come on.
They're the ones with the bamboo, yo.
No.
They're the ones that snuck the bamboo ballots.
You know they're getting interrupted by like a graduation, like a high school graduation going down or some shit like that. So they got to.
Yeah, there's a carnival going on too.
Yeah, there you go. And they got to like lock up all this stuff or something like that. And to me, it seems like that's more time to like.
There you go.
No, what's the
yes.
Eric's been going one for like 9 years. He's got a beard too.
I've got a permanent 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, that's because you fucking tattooed it in.
Yeah, look at a total beard.
He puts those fibers in shit. He puts those fibers.
Yeah, he goes out and wears his Ben Davis, Nicky Cortez.
Have you guys ever owned a Ben Davis?
Yes.
No.
I have.
You bought a Ben Davis, Eric? Were you a cholo? Tell the truth.
I wasn't a cholo.
He dressed like a cholo. You fucking had him. He dressed like a fucking cholo. Well, actually,
I did not.
Kind of like a yes, and you also had that raver look.
Were you just? Sorry.
No, but really, I saw him in the bass drop.
I used to wear
the day when all that shit was happening, like, you know.
No, back in the day when we first met, we're talking fucking 1998, Chuck. All right, so
yeah, 99,
98. You had that fucking pretty boy face. You looked like a little
pretty boy face.
Little osito. Everybody's calling osito. Yeah. Before he had that grizzled ass beard that he thinks he's all bad with. He used to wear a fucking Kangol hat, right? And a Kangol hat. Remember those Kangol ones?
What is a Kangol hat?
Look like the shit you wear.
The Samuel L. Jackson hat.
That was a fucking beanie.
Oh, well, you used to wear those little fucking hats. You know what I'm talking about. They look like a baseball cap, but...
Yeah. But it kind of looks like a... Yeah, I remember what you're saying. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I tried to forget it. I used to wear like fucking band shirts, Slayer, Misfits.
No, you didn't.
Yes, motherfucker. You can look up any picture. I was wearing a goddamn band shirt or a black T-shirt.
No.
When did you get your cholo uniform? When did you get the Ben Davis?
I used to live in Brawley, and
here you go. Here we
I
go.
used to have Dickies, but everybody had fucking Dickies.
I never wore any. Never had them.
I wore Dickies even after I fucking when I was going to college. I wore Dickies. I wore gray Dickies, black Dickies.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I wore Dickies and jeans. Like later on, that was like what I wore.
You gotta look up for a picture. I think I got a picture of everybody there at the corner.
Yeah, I'm wearing a fucking Misfit shirt. Look it up.
Yeah, I think you are.
Well, fucking anyway. Well, Chuck had the little tiny beard and little teddy bear beard and shit, just like a goatee. Little chonchito walking around when he always had smokes. And I used to wear baggy pants. Like I used to wear really fucking baggy pants. Not like raver pants, more like skater pants, like like baggy jeans.
That's what I said.
And I had like a fucking a chain for my wall. Oh, this is fucking 90, 98, 99. That's what it.
Dude, Chuck still has the chain.
Yeah, I've always rocked the chain.
And I had my hair was shaved all the way down on the bottom, but long on top.
He had long hair, yeah.
And I had it blonde because I had dyed it blue, and like the dye went out.
I don't remember it blonde.
Yeah, I had like blonde, like bleach corners.
Your native hair would not turn. No, wouldn't take it.
Native hair. Fuck you. I know what you mean. But yeah, I had that's how I looked for my youth.
For your youth.
Fellow the Indio.
El Indio, sí.
Yeah. No beard. I had a little mustache. A little fake ass like this. That's as good as it gets. That's me not shaving in a week. But Chuck was walking around. He was Mr. Hey guys, what are you guys doing?
Fuck you.
See?
Was it fucking prominent beard or what?
No, wait. With his little pretty boy face, little cheeks. They used to call him oh, osito, ven, osito.
You did? All the bitches?
Yeah. And I remember one time he was trying to hook up with this chick, right? We used to call her the purple chick. And he was walking, he's thinking he's all bad, talking to her about whatever, right? This is where we're going to school, to college. We were Arabs, Imperial Valley College. And he was walking with her, and I was all, fuck, watch this. And I was all, Chuck! Like from across the campus.
Yeah.
Chuck! And he acted like he couldn't fucking hear me, so I just said it louder.
Yeah, I was getting annoyed too.
Chuck! Right? And then he looks, and I wave him down, I'm all, and he tries to keep walking, so I was all, and then he comes over, he's like, what? I was like, what's up, dude? What are you doing?
No, it's like when you fuckers would go over to my fucking to the house and like knock on my door, and I was in there with a monster, and you fuckers would like I'd come out like half dressed.
We would George the situation, if you know what I mean. We were the hand. The Chuck.
The perpetual hand saving the taint.
Yeah.
The taint hand? It's the hand, it's the holy hand of the taint.
Yeah, you were the holy
hand of the pit.
The holy hand of the hole. Stop the Minotaur. Mm-hmm. Or the werewolf, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
It's the werewolf, dude. It's Pinche Lobo Loco.
But we used to have
La Loba Loca.
And it was him, me, some fucking other of our friends are like hippies, one major hippie. And we'd all partake in recreational drugs and go to class like that.
Yeah.
And it was philosophy, it was ethics.
Yeah, with
Mr. Hahn was the shit.
Yeah.
You can't elaborate more on the drugs you're doing?
Dude, he would go off on tangents and we'd be right with him like, wow, like way in.
Carl, it was Carl, Eric, and me.
And and
Lalo was in there. I don't know why.
Yeah, they were in there. That was it. And I remember they used to pass me. You remember lined paper, right? When you went to school, George.
Line paper?
Yeah, just regular paper, notebook paper.
Yeah.
So
like the nice paper, yeah. that nasty thick one. With the chop up
paper. No.
With the bamboo fiber paper.
Like legit notebook paper. Well, I would be sitting there like all in, dude. He's talking about like people on a life raft killing one guy so they can all survive, if that's justified. If the guy was sick, what would you do? How would you handle an international court? Right? Are they justified in actually killing this dude? Even if the guy said yes, is it still legal? Right? It's all fucking wild shit. And then this fucking lined paper gets slid across in front of me. And I'm all in, dude. And I looked out and it's in highlighter, yellow highlighter, and it's all, this shit looks crazy because you're high, right? And I was like, what the fuck? And I look over and these two guys are like fucking laughing. I was like, bro, It's cool, but this is even cooler with the life raft.
No, because we were actually like into the Clash. We wanted to drop all this shit. We wanted to speak on it.
So imagine somebody sliding over paper with highlighter written saying this shit looks crazy when you're high, right? But yeah, that's how I met Chuck. Osito. Smoking beaties, thinking he was bad.
Beaties are those brown cigarettes?
You remember those with the little tiny filter at the end? They're like leaf paper. Beaties.
Yeah, I kind of remember them. They were brown, right? Eran café?
Yeah.
They're like illegal now. I smoked that.
Remember the black cigarettes?
Yeah, those were nice. I used to smoke those.
Oh, no. Those were nasty.
Those were great. The Jarum Blacks, yes.
Yeah, those were for the goth.
No, I knew a couple of people that used to smoke them that weren't goth.
Okay, I knew a couple of them too, but
intellectual chicks. There's like those like kind of like emerging kind of. I like poetry and voice or something. I don't know.
I like poetry.
No, I thought you were like boys.
like the smart bad girl, kind of goth. Usually tend to be goth.
They lived in the New Order, but they didn't really like.
There's adjacent things to that. Not everyone has the freedom to be goth, or like the financial resources. To be goth, to grow up and be goth, like not only do your parents support you, like your parents have financial means to make sure that the world knows you're goth.
Goddamn.
Some girls don't get that. They can't do that in like a Jesus home sometimes.
Yeah, Chuck.
It's not gonna happen. Like a poor house if you're poor or Muslim. I don't see too many Muslim goth girls. I'm not saying they want to be goth, but
yeah, it's kind of hard to hide the goth.
Hide the goth. Would you want to hide the goth?
Well, if you listen to the fucking Smiths or Morrissey,
sometimes if you got the full garb, that bitch could be punk rock 100% behind that garb, ready to go. But you don't know. You get to know her.
Yeah,
but it could be a goth. It could be a big titty goth girl from behind that fucking veil. You don't even know.
But that was Chuck.
Hiding it.
He could talk shit because I had like Ben Davis shit and Dickies but Chuck was the one that was walking around with his fucking Kangol hat and fucking smoking beaties with his little fucking chubby little face. Oh, Osito.
Sounds like you're on a chubby little chase.
And I remember that was like the best C block I've ever done.
Yeah.
I was like, watch this. And Chuck liked this girl, like he liked her. And he had finally gotten the courage to like talk to her. And
you fucked it up?
Fuck yeah, I fucked it up for the entire time.
You still talking to this sociopath, Carlos?
No. Yeah.
I fucking remember because it was one of the greatest things. And I was like, do you have any cigarettes? He's a motherfucker.
It sounds like he just wanted you to himself.
Yeah, it was.
That wasn't so much a block as it was a swap. that hand was doing some sleight of hand magic, close up magic.
Well, I've seen what your sleight of hand can do there, Mr. Fucking.
That was some slick maneuvering.
That's some slick Rick shit.
Oh, here. Let's see if I can send it to you.
You should tell that story like Slick Rick, and it would sound cool.
I'd be like, oh, it's Chuck. I'm walking with this girl. No,
hey, Chuck. Right now, Chuck could be married, but like 3 or 4 kids in a big house. He'd run the pole inspection of the whole Southwest. He'd have all the contracts under him.
He'd be the pole king of the Southwest.
But wife. But in 3 weeks I'd probably be dead and shot myself.
No. You would die in your 90s, happy and surrounded by your family. But Eric over here decided that wasn't in your cards, and he took that hand from you.
I wouldn't have had my fucking road dog for fucking, what is it now, Chuck? 20 years?
Something like
20-something years?
Something like that, yeah. It's been a long time.
Hey, Chuck, so I fucking hate you. It's been a long time.
No, I don't.
He's just waiting to fuck up your shit. He's just waiting for the right moment to pull your house.
He's had plenty of fucking moments to fuck up my shit. He knows it.
He's still waiting. He's savoring it. He's building it. You're going to be like, you're my best friend. I love you for life. And he's going to be like, now it's the time.
It's going to drop.
Your life's gonna fall apart. You're gonna be that gutter punk running into the fucking Sally Beauty Salon.
Chuck's the fucking dude, bro. Chuck's the dude. He has to. He's very later. He's very chill.
But he's taking your abuse for 20 years.
I'm fucking Walter. He has to put up with my shit.
You're Walter?
Yeah, he's the dude. I'm fucking Walter.
You're the angry. You're the guy with the gun.
Yeah, like I don't roll up.
Yeah, no, we had our Donnie too.
I think we got a new Donnie.
Happy Donnie. Yeah. Donnie seems to be the only one with shit together besides when he gets fucking assaulted, and that was just sad. That was just sad, dude.
Bro, you're like a 3-year-old child walking into a conversation.
All right, hey, I sent the picture.
What fucking picture did you send?
Look at your goddamn messages.
Walter?
I ain't got shit. I hope you. Where did you send it?
I sent it to you. Get to the group. The normal.
Oh shit! That is a picture right there. Fucking man, we used to fucking wake up at your You used to wake up.
He used to wake me up.
Yeah.
I would wake up and he's there smoking a joint.
But what do you see
on Zoom?
Am I where? I'm the guy in the front middle.
No, I sent it on the text.
It's in the text. How we send our shit. You see the fucking. Speaking of text, did you see the guy on Twitter that he said that he gave out Matt Gates's fucking contacts? Supposedly they're all over the internet.
Yeah, I saw that. But what like contacts on what? Like,
well, if you
Twitter?
No, I think that's Venmo, which is crazy because I guess he's the one that said, yeah, I guess it's part of his defense on, what they're accusing him of.
Matt Gates. Yeah, one of those Matts is actually Matt Damon. He goes, Matt Gates.
But if you look, Chuck talk a lot of shit, but I'm wearing a Misfits shirt.
Yeah. And look at the pants.
Yeah, pants are fucking baggy. But we were gonna talk about fucking parties, no? Republican, Democrat, big.
I wanted to talk about the exodus of California too.
I don't think there's an exodus, dude. I really don't.
Of course not. But they're playing on this. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, there still was like abnormal amounts of people leaving, I believe. Like in terms of like I heard like all that stuff was like book prices are up.
But
it could be people coming in too.
Well, yeah, there always will be people coming in. I think the thing is that with that whole thing that they don't realize all those people that are leaving California is going to make the other states more liberal.
Oh, that's what we should tell Marjorie Taylor Greene, bro. That's how you set her off. We're moving to your district.
I'm gonna say, Larry McDonald, a real conservative bitch. You ain't shit. Put up or shit up.
That's true. We can have fucking George run against her.
Okay, I'll go with fucking Georgia.
Fucking George can run against her. Holy
shit.
She from
Georgia?
I'll run on a satirical John Birch campaign. I'm basically gonna like Stephen Colbert, like a John Birch guy. There, I'll just do Larry McDonald.
When he said he was walking from the hospital to get paninis, I guarantee he was passing out John Birch fucking pamphlets and shit on his way over there.
Yeah.
Hey, some guy, this old man that looks straight up like Willie Nelson, like this guy was like Jimmy Nelson, like his cousin. He had like a tie-dye hoodie. He looked he had like just look at Willie Nelson's face on this dude, like in his hair. He had a cowboy hat. He had like fucking bell-bottom jeans and cowboy boots. Like, because like he was the one over because we were talking to him when the guy popped out because I was telling him like I'm watching this guy, like he just went in there and he looked like he had no business in there, and he's like, yeah, I saw him, and I was like, and then
wait. Why can't the guy get a panini? What makes you say that?
Who can't get a panini?
The fucking guy, the gutter punk. He didn't belong there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He belonged in the beauty supply store that he ran into or walked into. The one he was standing in front of for like 5 minutes.
Here's the thing.
But
how much money could he actually take from that place? I mean, San Diego. What part of San Diego?
Claremont.
Claremont. Well, okay, I'll tell you this. So in the hour that I was there was at least like 20 girls that came and left and were mad, and then some girls kept coming back and like standing there, And they're like, we're done. We're closed. Like, we're done. Like, we're not taking business right now.
We're out of supplies.
So, but okay, so the guy next to it, he said that he was like, we don't get cash, dude. These people have cash. He knew what the hit. I got hit last year. I was like, what? But the old man, he asked me if we were detectives. He's like, are you guys detectives?
That guy.
I was like,
well, you kind of got the look, George, with the glasses and shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, my homeboy looks similar, but like actually white, you know. So
you look like a fucking.
And like, as far as this old guy was concerned, we were stalking him. You know what I mean?
That's what I thought. We were checking him out the entire time he was walking. I was like, George.
Dressed a little nicer, I guess, and like hair was combed. Yeah, it was weird, dude. It was pretty crazy. And then like the cop was like, "Why didn't you tackle him?" And I was like,
Yeah, why weren't you here to prevent it?
I was just watching, dude. Here's my thing. He had a gun. So the van that pulled up, we don't know if that was to like maybe just, I don't know, it's just backup or something. He took the car that was parked, and because this happened, then we got our paninis, right? And then while we're eating the paninis, we're kind of talking about what happened, and like I'm kind of like, if I would have gone up to the window, you think that van would have pulled up? Like, would they have been like, he's like, like, he has a gun, will he just point it to get away? If I don't do nothing, he maybe won't shoot me, right? But then like maybe my friend too might, I don't know, look suspicious with like the detective glasses or whatever. But did she just hop in the van at that point and take off? Did they just come up and shoot me with a shotgun in the back as it's coming out, Like if I'm like looking in there, if I would have started looking in there, like could they just fucking blast it on me or something,
I mean, it's a tough job of police do. I mean, especially that, like, it sucks because most times you catch the end of it, you know what I mean? The poor people that are getting robbed, but also the people that are robbing. I mean, like this kid doesn't sound like he sounds like he lives in Claremont, you know what I mean? Or he's around Claremont. It's a decent place.
He wasn't a kid. This guy, well, he's a grown man. He's a grown man for sure. Like, relative to my age, I thought. I could see him. Like, we're looking at each other, dude. Like, dead ass fucking, we're just like looking at each other. But he had a mask on,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a mask on. He had a scarf on. He had like a hoodie over his head. He had a big backpack. And he was leaning up. He had his like boots. And he had his pants like kind of tight. Kind of combat style, so they get tighter at the bottom or whatever.
The Doc Martens?
I mean, I couldn't tell like that, but like they're like dark boots.
Those stompers.
He was already kind of like not freaking me out, but like he was catching my attention as like some kind of threat, And like, so when we were looking at shit, like I'd be looking at him, and like pointing my finger and like trying to see him, but I knew something was up. And like,
that's crazy, bro.
Like I said, if I would have reacted by going in there, I'm trying to like, at best, like he doesn't hurt the girls. So I guess he didn't, But do I make the situation worse? I can get hurt. Someone else can get hurt. They can get hurt now.
Yeah,
it was weird. I didn't have a lot of time to react, but I knew it was off. That's why I was already standing there, like.
So he just took a seat and watched it go down.
He was eating his fucking panini, bro.
You hadn't gotten it yet.
I didn't have my panini yet. I didn't have the fucking panini yet.
Yeah,
I would have thrown my fucking panini. If I had the panini, dude, I would have thrown that panini. Would have fucking slipped on it. And I would have been like, hey. I'm gonna watch this.
Oh, maybe
like fucking Uncle Rico, dude. I'm the Uncle Rico that bitch. Boom.
You know what? You were probably on that show. What Would You Do show? I can't remember the guy's name. He's a Latin guy. But yeah, it's like on NBC or CBS or some shit like that. It's called What Would You Do?
Oh, okay. Like you're like in a bar, or you're somewhere, and like a little girl comes up. She's like, "Help me!"
Yeah.
Shit like,
and or like some guy in a restaurant's wearing like a Dixie, shirt, the whole fucking Pride of the South thing, and some black guys like yelling at him and shit, and people are just standing there, not getting involved, So Like, what would you do if you were in this situation? Would you stand up and blah, blah, blah? And they film it and shit. And that's what you were in, you know? What would you do? You just sat by. They didn't even interview you after it went down. It's like, oh, we got to shoot this again. This guy didn't give a shit.
Look, if I was with George and that dude would have pulled out a gun on George, I would have punched George in the face and be like, don't stare at that guy right there. Or just save his fucking life. You know what I mean? Like on Kingpin.
Probably.
No,
he was about to shoot me, but he knocked me out. Yeah, and then just like,
you know what I mean? Then he'd be like, "What the fuck?" It's almost like the Danilo defense. You know what I mean?
And then you just like fall. You just fall down to the fetal, and he just walks away.
I hadn't heard that in a long time, man. The Danilo defense.
Do you remember the Danilo defense, George?
I don't think he ever.
No.
I don't think we ever told him about it.
The Danilo defense is if you're gonna get a fight with a bigger dude or a dude or whatever, you puke on the guy, so he's like, "What the fuck?" and then you fucking kick him in the balls and run off.
Yeah. That's the Danilo defense.
And then we did a modified Danilo defense, which is even crazier, where you puke on yourself.
Yes.
Punch yourself in the balls and then rush the guy because then you show you're fucking like a real fucking crazy beast.
Dude, so we were talking about something and then we got on a tangent here.
We were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC.
It's an overreaction. It's kind of like the everybody's special kind of feeling. Like you got your own YouTube channel, you know, you got so many followers on it and shit. And you think that because people are following you like that your word is fucking priceless, you know? You're spitting gold. You're like old dirty bastard who delivered.
Well, I think with her, honestly, not to be, I think she swallowed the freaking Kool-Aid. She's eating the graham crackers. You know what I mean? She's sitting there in the ring. Marjorie Taylor Greene is full all in QAnon Trump. So everything she does is for that. Is to get more followers, more people to donate to her. Like they're all in on that. That's the look. They're like zealots, right, George? You gotta say yes.
What?
People can't see you fucking nod your head, you fucking stoner.
Oh man,
nodding his head while we do a podcast.
That's 99% of all talk radio. Okay.
What? Which part? The nodding your head?
Nodding your head. Yeah.
Started hearing what?
You started what?
Started hearing Dr. Dre lyrics. Ring ding dong, ring a ding 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 dong. Keep your head. I forget.
Chitty bang bang.
No,
I know what you're talking about. Check.
I'm saying keep the heads.
Keep the heads ringing.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about. Ring. Did you ever imagine Eric and his Ben Davis in his room? He's like ring ding dong.
You. I hated Dr. Dre. Fuck you.
Start singing fucking Danzig lyrics.
Some fucking mother. Yeah, the real shit. The real Elvis.
The real Elvis, dude. He's just one of his many kids, dude. He's the evil baby Elvis. There's got to be like a funk one. There's got to be like a country one. Come on, dude. There's a whole.
Hey, he wrote a song for Johnny Cash.
Middle generation. Yeah, see, that was Elvis's seed in like a straight up gothic woman, and like that's just how that little pool turned out. Out the womb, he came out like mama.
Well, he doesn't sound like a hair band, so.
It's like my
fucking George is all.
What did I do? I did an interpretation of the Who song.
He's all. Shit, I think
putting the band back together or what?
I'm fucking getting contact. Dude, I think they fucking hate AOC because she's smart, good looking, and young. Those are three things that all these like Trump people hate.
No, I think the top one's just she's brown.
She's down.
She's brown. She's coming for your guns. She's socialist.
They don't even.
But she's a woman. You don't like
She fits the what do you call it? Like the Manchurian candidate type of person. Like it's all fake, dude. Like she wasn't even a bartender. Like she doesn't even have parents, dude. She was born in the test tube next to Obama. They were both raised by the CIA to grow up, get in politics, take our shit. I'm like, well, Obama's not in office no more. It's running the shadow government.
Bro, but the majority of these people, they're begging for a war that they don't know how to fight. You know what I mean? They just, dude, I've run into people like this my entire life. People that are like, I can't wait to get into a fight. And then when the shit actually goes down, and there's like 9 fucking cholos jumping you, the motherfucker's sitting in the corner crying and punching a wall because he doesn't know what to do because he's never been to fight in his life.
If they would have really felt like met some resistance when they were storming the Capitol, they actually would have backed off.
Yeah. See, I would just have to kill 9 cholos. If you're going to do anything, for you not to get responded by and getting the shit just stomped out of you, like your jaw broken and your fucking eye sockets kicked in, like, you gotta just take them down. You know what I mean? You can't just like hit one and like, you know, there's a bunch of them. You gotta find something. You gotta go jump on them. You gotta find something. You gotta be like, oh, okay. 9 dead cholos, dude. Cholos take too long to throw a punch. Cholos do a full swing back. It's almost like they have broken arms. Like a cholo rarely just gives like straight punches. But cholos have like swing it. Like he's going for like these dirty, you know, haymakers. There's a whole bunch of them, but
well, it depends where you live. It depends who you fight. Like a lot of them know how to fight.
Give me tire iron. I think I can maybe get through 9 cholos.
Tire iron. Well, I was speaking of a personal experience where somebody was Mr. I want to get in a fight, let shit go down, and then did nothing but cry. So I'm telling you, the people that most scream war are the people that are the last people to fight. If you watch the videos, they're like, come on. You see these people saying, come on, because they don't move forward. They're waiting for all the other crowd to move forward. You know what I mean? That's how it works. That's the whole mob mentality. You're supposed to go after the guy with the biggest mouth, and the other ones will back up.
Yeah, that's why you take out Goliath, right?
You know what I mean? It happens. A lot of them think there's the smart people. Don't get me wrong. There's always going to be violent, militaristic people, and there's probably some on both sides that are willing, that know how to fight and want to fight. But the majority of the people that are in there, they don't know. You know what I mean? They're just in it. They love the talk of fighting. I love violence. Oh, but once the shit hits the fan, they're the ones that shit their pants, piss their pants, and just don't know what to do. Like now you got one of the guys that got stormed the Capitol. What was he saying? He's got foxitis. He was
foxitis, yes, dude. Yes, I suffered foxitis one time. I did not. I'm just joking. But I caught it for a weekend. I got immunity to it. Caught it for a few years.
Because when you know what I mean, there's big guys that try to use their height, their power, their strength to bully people. But at the la mera hora, like they say, they ain't gonna do shit. And that's what happens. A lot of these people, they've never been to fight in their life. They dream about what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? And then when it actually never happens, or when they think it's gonna happen, they shit their pants.
Yeah. So Ron Paul, remember, he says 5%. Right? You only need 5% of the population for a revolution because they're true believers. They believe it. They're enthusiastic. They're out there. But it seems like they're settling on 3%. Okay. It seems like they don't feel like they got the time or the resources for a full fiver. You know, the January 6th was a dry run. There was obviously, to everyone's, you know, to everyone's eyes, there was an awful lot of Chinese and other types of foreign people there, almost like as like touristing, you know.
Well, they did try to blame the Chinese.
It don't seem too genuine though. It seems it's part of the new Tang Dynasty and the Epoch Times network, because they're in China. They do the same thing with the Falun Gong, and their political kind of movement, where like they're anti-communist, you know, they're anti-abortion, they're standing up to the genocide in China, But and then they meet up at the parks and they do like Tai Chi and breathing, and we talk about these things, and they'll have like media, and you know, I feel like that's some Orwellian shit, like for reals. Like I feel like that the Epoch Times, the Falun, the New Tang Dynasty, this is some kind of like controlled subversion group, you know, particularly because they're allowed to kind of go and I guess they're persecuted, they say, like I believe it, like, you know, but they're getting them to kind of like expose themselves. And then in America, that January 6th invasion, and I know me and Chuck talked about it because we were suspicious of the whole Antifa versus Proud Boys thing going on in the country versus BLM, where it seemed like they were really trying to instigate like some kind of fight. And I was like, because, you know, and the things that people said leading up to the January 6th, things I had seen on the internet, you know, we knew there was coming because they were like saying, die for this, we're going to fight for this, there'll be nothing left. You know what I mean? If Biden is the moment Trump's out, this country's dead. The floodgates are going away. The Somalis are coming. The Muslims are coming. They're going to stab you at the mall. They're going to stab your daughter, your son. You know, they're going to stab you, your wife, your mom, you know, your dad. Everyone's going to get stabbed.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And we knew there was going to be a breaking point. Like, this is what they wanted, you know. At the other, you know, not the other, but as opposed to the 6th invasion, the BLM stuff had like 10,000 arrests already by like August of 2020. These people try to tell you that, oh, they got no punishment. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. They were fucking 10,000 arrests is a lot. You know, that's across the country. And, but the Capitol 6 rioters weren't expected because of, I guess, the demographic, but they did it. They did it anyways. And there was people there cheering them on that weren't American, that are tied in with these, you know, in my opinion, you know, fake, patriotic, nationalistic, anti-communist shit. You know, like
I can see that.
Trump's he's the perfect wedge. He was a really good wedge to get thrown in there and try to ferment this racial divide.
You know why?
You know,
because Trump didn't give a fuck. Trump didn't care. Trump's like, oh, these guys like me. All right, I'll take them. Oh, those guys like me. All right. He just cared about being liked. That's what he wanted. He wanted people to be, yeah. That's his whole thing. Oh, well, they're good people too because they like me. I know good people on that side.
I just remembered something, right? It was a couple of years ago, maybe even 10 years ago.
A little closer.
But to what?
The microphone.
to the mic.
The camera. No, the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Speak up. It's low.
Can you hear me at all?
We can hear you.
Now, yeah.
But you got to get a little bit louder.
That was good right there, I thought.
All right. No, there's this interview I saw like 10 years ago. And there's this KGB agent basically saying that Russia put in a plan way long ago, like that it was going to take like 20 years. And it was basically they were going to try to like break down the U.S. in a way where it was like demoralization and shit like that. And it's going to be like slowly and but surely it's a great big like brainwashing of the United States that it was put in by the fucking well, I guess the Soviets back in the day. It basically ideological subversion, like psychological warfare, basically. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of I was thinking about that, and it's like maybe, and the whole time with Trump and Russia, you know. And Putin's still alive, and he was running, well, not running the KGB, when he was deep in the KGB back then. I gotta go watch that fucking movie.
What if Zuckerberg is the plant?
Zuckerberg, really?
Zuckerberg seems to be more in line with the companies, because he gives data to private shit, but he's more protective of data and things from the government.
Because the big fight's Apple versus Facebook. It's coming up real soon because Facebook wants your shit. And Apple's like, no, this is Apple shit. We're the ones that are going to keep these people private. This is our shit. You're not the only way you're going to get shit from us. Because you know how many people use Apple? There's a ton. And that's the big fight is Facebook wants data that Apple has and Apple doesn't want to let go of the data it has. So it's two people fighting over your data, two companies.
Okay.
Which is really bad if you
about I just saw the guy, Beth Minal, right? This is one of his quotes from this program. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to a sensible conclusion in the interest of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's basically just saying nobody's gonna believe anybody kind of shit, you know? It's I don't know. They're programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind even if you expose them to authentic information. Even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. That motherfucker be sitting. And this was like an 80-something. That's what's happening in the nation, kind of. Nobody can really agree, and it's marginalized. You know what I mean? And these people that you show the facts to are refusing to believe in it. I mean, QAnon people and fucking, you know, they believe that fucking blood of babies is being consumed by the Democrats or whatever. Yeah, just a tangent, I suppose. Something I was thinking about.
It's not a tangent. It's just right now everybody, because of technology, it's driving everybody to weird tribes. It's no longer American versus Russian or versus, you know, Iranian. Now it's like religion and I don't know, what do you call it? Faux religion, because that's what QAnon is. It's like it's its own religion in a way. These people believe some guy that's got clearance is helping Donald Trump, the savior, get us to get rid of all these people in, what is it, cabal or something? The cabal that's baby eating.
Yeah.
So it's a religion in itself. Everybody's turning to like their old school religion. Look at the stuff that's going on in Israel and Gaza right now. I mean, they're just murdering each other.
I think we're in a smack middle. You know how America's had those tent revivals? You know, they're dubbed historically some the Great Awakenings.
Yeah, the Awakenings.
There's been 4. Yeah, Great Awakenings, and you know, I feel like this is like a 5th one, but it was done online. Everyone was in the tent because everybody was home, and so that big uptick that you saw of new traffic had to be moderately, you know, new people to the internet, you know, more or less, and they just took advantage of all these people. Like, they knew what they were doing. They had been doing it for years. You know, they've been sucking off and collecting the data on all these like focus groups. They're focus groups, right?
Yeah, but sucking off is not a good thing to use. Try to use a different word.
What?
Then sucking off? You want me to go? Okay. They were siphoning.
There you go.
Sucking off. Un chupazo, he's saying. And he lost. I'm fucking lost now. Yeah, they took everyone's data. They had everyone's data. They were collecting it, and then once all these new, like basically like a bunch of new users emerging users popped into the internet, these Facebook groups and stuff, and they already had fast ways of doing everything. You know, they've already worked out the kinks. Like, their new recruiters, their new people were just hot on it, and they're getting people like to their thing, and that includes a political angle on it, which is this huge distrust of American government sources. You know, like they think we're trying to do them worse than what their Russian or Chinese friends are going to do to them. You know, they're trying to bring us down. Like, we're the ones that deserve punishment. But it's got that central like religious, like Eric was saying, it's got that religious aspect to it. It's like a 5th Q. It's like the prophet of this movement. Q was the pastor of this great awakening.
They shouldn't see fucking Doom.
And all the diggers and all the influencers, they're like the apostles, and they were getting the message out in like different kind of ways.
For the other day.
Yeah, if your car is wrapped, if you have a Trump wrap, you're an apostle. If you got flags, more flags, the higher up you are.
Well, it's like I said, it's a fucking tribalism that's happening in this fucking country,
Yeah, but it's tribalism mixed with religion. It's like a religious aspect. Look at
that could still be
these people.
tribalism.
These
That's
people think these people think they're martyrs. Look at what they're doing. Look what they did. They took her out of the committee in front of everybody.
Well, they did that to the other lady too, and that was a good way. That was a good.
No. It's their own people. It's like when the generals bring out one of their own generals and sacrifice him because he's the one that failed to hold up their commander. Right now, the Republican Party.
No, I think they just.
She was a ranking leader.
Yeah, she's a ranking. She's Cheney for goodness sake.
She lost like her position. She was like number 3. She was like number 3 Republican in the House, and they kicked her out of our stuff. I think it's just something.
All of it. She has no leadership role. She's been stripped completely. They think of like the Game of Thrones when they walk the lady down the I feel verse again Thrones, but they walk her down naked, and they're like shame. That's pretty much what we watched with Cheney. She gave her speech saying, I'm not gonna swallow the poison. This is not true. We need to move on from believing the lie is true, because that's what they're doing. They keep everything they're doing is trying to promote that Trump somehow lost the election because it was stolen, not just lost it. That's where they're getting their bleeding hearts. That's where they're getting their martyrs. That's where they're sacrificing her in front of the House, because the House is more tied to the swing of the moment. They're more into what's in there because they get elected every 2 years, so they have to fight for it. You know what I mean? And so right now, since the steal is huge, that's why they're doing this. They're chastising anybody that went against Trump because they think they're supporters.
That's why I'm calling it like tribalism. Basically, you lose you lose sense, and you're just in there on your team's side. You know what I mean? It leads to like they get together. You know what I mean? They to survive. They only see it as theirs. They're only seeing the truth.
Yeah, but it's cannibalism, Chuck. They're it's not just tribalism. They're cannibalizing each other. Yeah, they're eating their own. There's some in the party that are they're threatening to move out of the party, but they won't do it because because they're being cannibalized. They're being ostracized for believing in truth, for believing in reality.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's not a coincidence or an accident or just good marketing or campaigning that Trump wasn't on the Alex Jones show. That's his birtherism has its roots in birtherism. Like it's that Ron Paul, Alex Jones fucking thread.
That's exactly why I call it like tribalism. People, they're more emotional. They don't think about the logical thing. They go straight for the emotion. They're afraid. They're basically afraid of losing that power, of losing that authority.
That shit gets them afraid. Maybe they're not even that afraid to begin with, but like once you start listening to 1776, once it starts getting in your blood, people start like their brain starts to be wired. Like there's studies on like how speech and sound and like can trigger things in your brain to like put you in like this emergency kind of state, and this like primal state where you're imprinted easier. They've done like scientific studies on it. The same way like music gives you chills, or like when someone screams, or like political speeches. Like Alex Jones is hitting on that like nonstop.
Yeah, because
he's just bombarding you.
When you don't know somebody, right? When you're just hearing of the people, you know, the less you know about them, the easier it is to fear them and hate them, because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't even see them as humans, you know. It's like meat for the politicians and the fringes, you know what I mean? And you're only keeping yourself around those groups, so therefore it grows even more. You know, only Fox, only, or even that new AON or whatever the fuck it's called.
One American Network.
Yeah, there you go. They're others. They're us versus them kind of mentality. The tribe, you know what I mean?
But what I'm trying to tell you is it's not even a tribalism, because their own tribe is being eaten. This is more like a crusaderism, a purity test on their side.
That was basically tribalism too, Eric.
It's not their tribe, dude. That's a tribe.
That's what I'm trying to say. The tribe's pushing out those people that are no longer in the tribe because they're not following the tribe's instructions or.
Yeah. If you ain't from the tribe of Israel.
It's like saying, like, a soldier. It's easier for a soldier to kill somebody when they don't know them, because you're just seeing a dot. You're just seeing a enemy.
Yeah, but the thing is now they're turning it into enemies. It's like your own soldier you fought with, now your enemy. That's what they're doing.
They're trying to take your world. They want to come kill white people. Like, that's what they feel the messaging is on the other side. Like, it's all out assault on white people. White people, like, you can make fun of them. You can make jokes about white people. You can beat white people. There's a knockout game out there, kids. They're punching white guys in the head, you know, and fucking.
Fear is the easiest way to circumvent fucking logic, and that's what they're basically doing. They're pumping out these theories that don't. You're gonna agree with them just because they're to your liking, not necessarily because you're informed of it.
But this has been going on for more than 50 years here in the United States.
Yeah, it's been going on since the founding of this country. It's been going on since fucking the Middle Ages. It's been going on since ever. Since tribes.
I mean, how long have we been scared of the communists? Come on.
I've never been scared of them. I ain't never scared.
George?
Scared of communists? There's no communists in the world.
The socialists
are
cowards.
True.
Not true communists. Yeah, you're right. It's authoritarian.
But that's how.
Look, I'm a Democrat. I like certain things, but when it comes to policy, I don't see that stuff as even needing to be called socialism. Like, that could easily call it federalism, because it's in the federal interest to ensure the public welfare, and having bright, healthy, happy citizens is probably really good.
Then you marginalize that thing and you turn it into a different concept of the us versus them kind of shit. What is truly our part of our society? They're not, but we are. We're the ones with the right, concept. The fight or flight, even.
But that's how you get to vote Republican. That's how they get people to vote Republican. We're losing Western civilization. It's being taken away as we speak. Look what he said.
Not. Look.
I know
out of necessity, the government's here to protect us, essentially, from corporations and other governments. And, some of those governments may be dictatorships. And, those kind of tribes tend to fucking take other tribes' shit. So,
like our tribe,
the United States
shit.
Yeah. But we maintain. The United States maintains a pretty good order for the world, and if the forces that want to destabilize it, in my opinion, tend to be oligarchs of all kinds. But it seems like a lot of Ukraine, a lot of Russian, Chinese,
Dorian in Turkey, or I forget the guy's name.
Erdogan.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's more like at a government level. I mean, I think where the money's at. Like, I'm not trying to outright blame the Chinese Communist Party for what's going on with their billionaires and shit. I don't know how that works. Same thing with the Russian oligarchs.
They're just trying to secure the interests, just like the United States has. That's all Russia's doing. That's all China's doing. Is we're running out of resources. So they're like the next big brothers up in line. So they're trying to get in.
We're running out of water. That's what we're fucking running out of.
Yeah, that's true. The thing is like I've had a conversation in bars before when people were talking about like, oh, how many undocumented, immigrants or illegal immigrants or whatever they say, they killed a person today. Yeah, well, how many fucking Americans killed a person? You're marginalizing them. You're saying just you're paying attention to that one immigrant when as a whole, I'm sorry, illegal immigrants or whatever. When the whole Americans kill more people than those people who come over here illegally.
But they don't hear that in their radio show. They just hear about the one guy.
That's what I'm trying to say. They block out that thing and they revert back to the tribalism that I'm speaking of. It's us versus them kind of mentality, We know they don't.
Do you think it's going to go more back to normal once they lift all the pandemic things, when people are actually have to interact with each other?
I think in a funny way, yeah. I think in a funny way, they're gonna have a weird reaction. They're gonna like, I don't know, like this is the calm before the storm. Now it's here. Everything's full. Unemployment's down. Everything's up. Like that's all part of the plan, man.
Yeah. No, I've seen people interviewed about like for the whole when they were into that whole QAnon shit, and then all they did was like they stepped back and stopped listening to all that shit, and all of a sudden they were back to like, yeah, people are okay, they're not being this and that. The thing is, like, you buy in, you take the risk. You know what I mean? You're looking for what you want instead of trying to,
What's like a drug?
Yeah, I suppose.
Religion is the opiate for the masses.
Oh,
well, check it out. Yeah, that's the thread, right? I think that is kind of the thread. I think what's binding all these people is their religious aspects and how what's being narrated fits into their belief of the universe to be true now. So their religious.
It's always been like that, though. And I think it's because the difference is, like in Europe and most other parts in the world, they're surrounded by other countries. Us, we got the Canadians to the north and the Mexicans to the south. So we don't have much exposure to other cultures. It's like when Americans go like visit other lands, they're wearing shirts with like fucking flags on them, or they're talking about how they're American and why isn't everybody speaking English?
Mm-hmm.
We slowly become like we've lost that too. The importance.
We're a privileged country.
Is. Huh?
We're a privileged country.
And they're looking, and yeah, we're very privileged. We got a lot of free time, compared to I think other people, in terms of having time to ourselves. A lot of countries like, yeah, they interact and live and do their things, and poor people tend to entertain themselves or live their life more interacting with people, exchanging a lot of family time with a lot of people, right? Where us Americans tend to spend a lot of time by ourselves, researching bullshit, and you had a flock. See, if there's been 4 Great Awakenings, that means, I think, kind of like look, Ron Paul said it, right? I think they're ready. The harvest is ready, right? He said, you guys plant the Bird Society, plant how to seed. The harvest is ready, right? Well, I think the similar kind of elements, not saying the same people, but like industrialists and like rich Wall Street. Well, she's more like a hired gun, but but it's the same kind of interest, like these corporate interests. They just basically, Ayn Rand brings you in with the philosophy, but you stay for the tax cuts. And QAnon's the same way. I think the other Great Awakenings must have been the same way. I haven't done adequate research at all. Like, I just know they came and went. I don't really know who started them, but if America was to be, I got a feeling that it's going to be industrialists with the same kind of message. You know what I mean? Don't let these people, let them give you their money. Tell them, that their version of belief is true. Make them feel it. They'll work, they'll be happy. And these guys hoard the country every once in a while. And it's anti-unionism. At the end of the day, they're trying to get you out of the unions.
Yeah, but it's also the people in the unions that hate fucking social programming. Like I was having this discussion with a guy at work, right? And he's talking about how, people don't go to work because they're getting those $600 checks. I go, yeah. Why wouldn't you? Why would you go to work when they can't pay you? They won't fucking pay you.
Yeah, that's hello too. Let some fools take a break. Fuck.
What?
They shouldn't, but that money's going to go back into the system, basically.
Exactly. But that's what I'm trying to say is that plays on the whole thing that fucking minimum wage should be raised. Because if you're saying that motherfucker's just sitting at home gaining more money than going to work, doesn't that make you fucking like you should?
What does it tell you about your work?
Exactly. It should be the minimum wage should be
raised. First of all, but why is it their business, dude? Shit. The government already made the decision, like I
hate.
They're bringing back the welfare queen. They're bringing back they're a better class of people. Like you didn't go to college, but you're actually smarter. You're actually smarter than the college kids because you have no debt. You're making six figures, but they're making like a little bit over 100,000, and they're telling everyone they make six figures and they got a pool and there's some kind of religion and there's some kind of trade worker, and they feel that they're better than the actual architects or engineers of the world because they're dumb. I'm on the job site. I'm practical. If shit breaks down, who are you going to call? Electrician.
Dunning-Kruger.
He's all, look, kid. He's all, look, kid, you figured it out. You put on the glasses, man. You ran out of bubble gum and you're kick fucking ass.
You took the blue
1776. Fucking woo!
But that's how you keep them in check, is you make them look down instead of up. That whole trickle down, I mean, just the name itself tells you everything. Well, it's a trickle, and it might not even be a trickle.
We'll keep saying that that's how they do it. That's how they do it. That's how it's been done. Then is it ever going to break that cycle?
Yeah, I think it's breaking now, actually. Just the whole point that the government now is actually is part of being is part of employment, because basically what they're doing is they're employing all these low wage workers right now. So now the low wage places have to compete with the unemployment. That's what they should do. They should honestly, I think they should extend it till business sees.
Before it's like, okay, Coca-Cola is still going to sell you the product for less if Pepsi's gaining. If they're more expensive, it's more expensive to buy a Pepsi. That Coca-Cola is going to be, lowering their prices just so people buy more Coca-Cola. They're not going to keep the prices at the same level because then they're not really outdoing the other company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The prices they're still going to sell you the fucking products. It's just the people that don't really like see that. It's awful that people just can't get these little concepts like that. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to get out of that. They want to blame the people, like you're saying, that the people that aren't part of their tribe yet again.
Well, it's a change. That's why their whole thing. If you watch, even Trump said the stock market's gonna crash because they're taking me out of office. Trump's gonna change.
Be gone. If you don't fight like hell, you're gonna lose it all. Don't lose America, guys. Go walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. I love Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm gonna march with you. Let's go. Right now, for real stuff. Let's go. Bobinos.
Look at what's his name? Giuliani. Talk about trial by combat. The guy ran as soon as he was done. He was the only combat he was doing was in the shitter.
To be fair, the way he streamed all the networks was already very Mortal Kombat-esque. He was already on this Mortal Kombat trip. I think his fool's been locked up in his basement, smoking fucking weed-based cigars. Mortal Kombat, yeah, dude. All the networks.
Look,
yeah, he's ripping his fucking tie off.
Also, that we lost the common enemy. It used to be Russians. We've kind of turned on ourselves because we don't have the common enemy.